మాలాసుదాం కుంభ విబోధ ముద్ర విద్యావిరాజత కరవారి జాతాం అపార కారుణ్య సుధాంబురాశిం శ్రీ శారదాంబ ప్రణతోస్మి నిత్యం. Seeking the benediction of Jagannmata Sharda Parmeshwari, Vagdevi Saraswati, that repository of all that is culture, knowledge, tradition, wisdom, art, learning and fine art, I bow to her as I commence my address today. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this pleasant and solemn function organized this evening on the occasion of the 107th birth anniversary of the Mahavidushi of our living memories, the musician of musicians, the musician non-parallel, the Nightingale of India, Bharat Ratna Dr. Subbulakshmi, and to confer the Sri Shanmukhananda Bharat Ratna Subbulakshmi Sangeetha Pracharya Award for the year 2023 and Fellowship in honor, memory and remembrance of Dr. Subbulakshmi for 50 young musicians from across the country in all genres of music. Including the awards that are being given today, 21 musicologists, musicians of repute, music teachers have been conferred the Sangeetha Pracharya Award, and 181 young musicians from across the country have been blessed and decorated with the Fellowship Award. This journey of celebrating excellence in memory and in remembrance of Subbulakshmi continues. Sound by its very nature is disturbance. When it does not convey any meaning, it is noise. When it does convey some meaning, it becomes a word. When the word is set in syntax, grammatical expression, it becomes prose. When it is set in metrical exposition, it becomes poetry. When poetry is soaked in emotion, set in cadence of rhythm and harmony, it becomes music. Yat kavyena yuktam tat gitena prasadayet. Yat gitena yuktam tat nrityena prasadayet, said in the Nati Shastra. What cannot be expressed in words can only be said Bhartamuni, through music. And what cannot be conveyed even through music or singing can only be given through the expression of the visual form of dance. Indian classical music is differentiated from the music world over by the element of bhakti that is interwoven into this music. It has peace with passes understanding. It has plenitude. It is far more than an entertainment value. Akbar once asked Tansen, why is it that your Guru Haridas Baba sings far better than you? Pat came the reply, Jahapana, I sing in honor of you, and my Guru sings in praise of the Lord. That is the essence of Indian classical music. Our Sabha enjoyed a very close connect with Subbulakshmi, which transcended the conventional relationship between a performing artist and an institution which hosts performers on its stage. We just concluded the Platinum Jubilee celebrations of Sabha last year, and currently we are celebrating the Diamond Jubilee celebrations of this very auditorium. This was dedicated to the nation on the 22nd of August, 1963, and one of the first functions that were organized as part of the dedication of this auditorium, which had the blessings of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. It started with Arikudi Ramanuja Iyengar, had Sembai Vaidyanatha Bhagavathar, and soon to be followed on the next day by Subbulakshmi. From then onwards, she has been featuring on this Vyasapita countless number of times. The vintage classics that she had given even continue to dominate the YouTube today. Whenever people access and come across Shanmukhananda and Subbulakshmi, you could see that it stops for some time and people listen, evergreen, ever fresh, even today. In the year 2000, she was conferred the honorary patronship of the Sabha. In the year 2001, she was conferred the Mahaswami of Kanchi Sri Chandrasekhara in the Saraswati National Eminence Award in this very institution. In the year 2002, she gave her consent in writing for setting up an award in this institution for music teachers and musicologists who give up the lucrative concert platform so that the art can be transmitted to the generation next through the process of learning initiated by them. Never before and never later in the life history of Subbulakshmi had she lent her name to any honors, titles, accolades, any form of honors. She had never lent her name. Singularly, the Sangeetha Pracharya Award of this Sabha carries the name of Subbulakshmi, not just her name but her consent as well. Dr. Saraswati Vidyardhi will realize that this award is just not one more recognition for her. It is the blessings from that Mahavidushi. In the year 2006, we constructed an auditorium and named it after Subbulakshmi. But our desire always was, why an auditorium, and that too away from this auditorium? And as she liked, we have upgraded and converted this into one of the finest hospitals of this city. And you will be very surprised to know that the dialysis center is the second largest facility in the country. And the high care is the highest technology based eye ailments treatment anywhere in this city. We celebrated the centenary of Subbulakshmi in a manner never seen before. Never in the history of any performing musician across the globe has the centenary been celebrated for a record period of 3 years. 2015, it commenced. 2016 was the centenary year. And then at the request of the Government of India, under the Honorable Prime Minister's directive, we were told to continue the celebrations in the year 2017. At the instance of the Sabha, the Honorable Prime Minister accepted to upgrade the celebrations to pan-Indian celebrations under the category of Makers of India, and the first ever centenary celebration under the Makers of India series of the Government of India was for Subbulakshmi. The government constituted a very high-powered committee to coordinate the celebrations, comprising of then Rajnath Singh as the convener, Arun Kumar Jaitley, the late finance minister, as one of its members, and Dr. Mahesh Kumar Sharma, the Minister for Culture. And this was the honor that was given to this institution, that the only non-government member was the president of this institution in the centenary celebrations of Subbulakshmi. In the centenary year, we also started a fellowship in honor of Subbulakshmi, an honor to ensure that succeeding generation of people would carry forward the legacy, the inheritance that this Mahavidushi has given to us. And the great virasat of this land will not demise with time, and it shall be transferred with the same pristine purity with which our generation has received it to go to the generation next. A new class of ambassadors of Subbulakshmi's music emerged from that centenary year, and this year all these young musicians over here are part of that journey. This journey of celebrating Subbulakshmi and in her name celebrating the music that she gave unto this country continues. This Sabha, our Honorable Prime Minister, whenever he comes for local elections, state elections, speaks about double-barreled engine of a government at the center and of a government at the state. If they are all the same, then he said that the synergy is very powerful and all the developmental benefits of the government can pass on easily. But if you could say that for only two, a state and the center, imagine an institution like this. This is a triple-barreled institution. It carries the name of Lord Shanmukha, Kartikeya, in whose name the entire institution is. This auditorium carries the majestic name of the greatest spiritual colossal of our living times, that master of masters who rekindled the spirit of this nation and brought about a renaissance in many fields of religion, thought and process. He taught mankind groping in the dark, despite all the strides in science and technology, as to how to journey to a higher destiny. And we have this auditorium named after the Mahaswami of Kanchi, Puja Sri Chandrasekharan Saraswati. And the Aradhya Gayaka of this institution is none other than Subbulakshmi. So the triple effect of God, the Guru and the Sishya, all the three of them make the Shanmukhanand Sabha indeed a very special institution. You go east or west into this campus, into this auditorium, you will see, breathe and live Subbulakshmi. That is the greatness of this Mahavidushi that this institution has been celebrating from times immemorial. I have, on this special occasion, have some words for these young stars in the making. The Lord in Bhagavad Gita spoke about Navavida Bhakti and said, what are the forms of worship of the Lord? I have coined a Saptavida Bhakti for M.S. Subbulakshmi. What is it that keeps M.S. Subbulakshmi far away from the committee of musicians? As Rudyard Kipling said, far from the madding crowd and yet be within it. And that was Subbulakshmi. It was those sterling qualities of human being first, a musician next, that differentiated Subbulakshmi from the rest of the musicians that our generations or even before or later we would see na bhuto na bhavishyati. And those exemplar qualities of Subbulakshmi are worthy of emulation by any musician, by any person, much less not even a musician. And these bhaktis of Subbulakshmi, I would compartmentalize them and tell the 7 as Isha Bhakti, Guru Bhakti, Rashtra Bhakti, Sangeeta Bhakti, Sahapati Bhakti, Rasika Bhakti and Dina Bhakti. I shall develop the thought only on 1 or 2 because there is not much time for that. Isha Bhakti, Indian classical music, is the offering of the Kalakar at the lotus feet of the Lord. It is the language of the gods. And whenever I have ever seen Subbulakshmi singing on the stage, bringing out the glory of the Lord through the several kritis that the Bhagyakaras had given to us, you could see peace and quietude in her. The eyes would have closed, and what would come out is just not melody, but outpouring of divinity. The acceptance of somebody superior to us, call him by any name, God for most of the theists, and by any superior force for any one of them, is central to human living and much more in the field of music. Unless you develop that equanimity, that quietude of the mind to offer whatever you sing as the gift that has been endowed to you by the great Lord, that singing will not go to great heights. And this is what Subbulakshmi demonstrated to the world during that long journey of 89 years. The question therefore comes, what is the extent of bhakti that we should have for the Lord as professionals or as individuals? Acharya Goswami Tulsidas in Ramcharitra says, Yaya asad ratam dravati, by which even the stone idol will melt. That type of bhakti. Taimanuvar says in Tamil, Urgi Urgi Aikyamanar. He melted and ultimately merged into that stone idol. That type of bhakti is not possible amongst ordinary mortals. So the type of bhakti that we could have is acceptance of something superior to us and subordinate ourselves, because that subordination will give you not only an acceptance of the fact that somebody is superior to us, but it will also give you the element of surrender that is an integral part of music. Second is Guru Bhakti. The concept of Guru is entirely unique to Hindu philosophy. Nowhere in the world you have the concept of Guru. It is loosely understood as teachers or as performing trainers or whatever you call them. The Upanishad says, Mata Pita Guru Chidaivam, the Guru occupies a higher pedestal even than that of the Lord. The Vedic injunction is, Acharya Devo Bhava. First, your Guru, and then only the Lord will come. Arnagirinadar says in Tripugar, Guruvai Varuvai Arulvai Guhane. O Lord Shanmukha, do not come before me as Kartikeya, come to me in the form of a Guru. Indian classical music, unlike the Western music, cannot be learned by a process of downloading a few YouTubes or listening to some concerts here and there, picking up some kritis and threats here, and then claiming that I have become a musician. Indian classical music the integral part of the transmission of that music is a guru. And unless you have a guru before you who gives sangati by sangati, when he breaks down and delineates the composition of the Vagikaras and gives you the meaning of it, and then the Patantaram comes, and by a process of repetition, the retentive power in you will absorb that Kriti. So you don't memorize it by rote learning. It is the Guru who repeats it again and again, and then it comes onto you. It brings in Vakshuttam, because the Guru gives you the syllables correctly, and ultimately you sing the true essence of that composer who wrote it with whatever intent he had. Unless you translate his vision into the music that you give, music will always be incomplete. Subbulakshmi, in that sense of the term, had no guru. Her mother initiated her into music at a very young age. Semangudi Srinivasa Iyer taught her a few kritis, and then even when she claimed that he is her guru, he dismissed by saying that I have taught you a few kritis. Dilip Kumar Rai of Pune singularly can claim to be a guru to Subbulakshmi for the bhajans that he taught her, which were part of Meera where she acted, and some more bhajans she learnt from him. But then she was the Manasika guru for countless number of musicians across the country. Young or old will be inspired to listen to Subbulakshmi, draw lessons from the way she sang, and then incorporate them into their own singing. So she was a Manasika guru in that sense of the term. Now the question that again comes is, what extent of bhakti for a guru is required? The scriptures say, Yasya devo parar bhakti, yada devo tata guru, tasmat katita arthaye prakashante mahatmanaha. When does a person shine like a Mahatma? Only when his devotion to the Guru is no less than that of God. So to these youngsters the message is, not only do you have a Guru for the learning process, but believe that everything that you want will come only through the Guru and from him alone. This is the essence of Guru that you should have. There is one thing that comes as an integral part of Guru, is the respect for the senior musicians. Most of the musicians of our times, of the current generation, think that they are far better than those of yesteryears, and they think that they are scripting a new history in the world of music. Subbulakshmi's respect for the seniors is legendary, something to be seen, to be believed. In the year 1965, the Prime Minister of the country, Lal Bahadur Shastri, had come to Tirumala for a darshan of the Lord. He was not originally scheduled to remain in the hills for the night, but then he changed his mind and decided to stay put over there. Then it fell upon TTD to immediately summon Subbulakshmi from Chennai, from Madras then, to give a performance in honor of the Prime Minister. At the end of the concert, the Devasam board honored her by giving her the title of Asthana Vidushi, the first ever title ever to have been given by the Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanam. But Subbulakshmi would not accept it. She said, with all humility, I will accept it as Varaprasadam of Lord Balaji, but not before you give it across to the seniors of my time. And then Arikudi Ramanuja Iyengar, Semangudi Srinivasa Iyer, and Musiri Subramanya Iyer were first conferred the Asthana Vidwans of TTD, and then only Subbulakshmi accepted it. This is a lesson for all the youngsters, that there is something to learn from everyone, much more to learn from the seniors of our time. I shall now develop only one bhakti for them, which is the Rachika Bhakti. Whenever you meet a celebrity of any status, of any class, in any field of human endeavor, he will say, I am what I am because of my fans, or because of the following that I have. You ask the musicians, because of my Rachikas who are there. Rachikas are central to the making of a musician or marring a musician. Overdose of criticism may drown a musician, and an encouragement will ensure that they blossom to their right potential. Subbulakshmi's bhakti for Rasikas was legendary, something which can never be seen with ordinary musicians. in the temple town of Ariyalur in South India, in the Arka district. The car festival is accompanied by the Mahakumbhabhishekam to the deity. Posters were put up all across the town of Ariyalur and villages all around that at the end of the Mahakumbhabhishekam, after the Sayana Arati of that day, into the night of that day, Subbulakshmi will come and give a concert. People came in droves and in large numbers to listen to Subbulakshmi. There were this old Brahmin couple who stayed 30 kilometers away from Ariyalur. They wanted to listen to Subbulakshmi, but they could not afford a bus fare that can bring them from their town to the temple town of Ariyalur. So they mobilized whatever little food that they had and decided to walk their way up to the temple so that they can listen to Subbulakshmi. But geriatry had its telling effect. They had become extremely old and therefore they walked very slowly, and by the time they came, Subbulakshmi was already singing. It was well past midnight and the Mangalam had already started. She saw this old couple entering the Shamyana. She beckoned them near the stage and heard their story, and then she said, I breach the tradition today of going after Mangalam. I will sing for 1 full hour in honor of this couple. Next morning she had a concert in the then Madras, and they had to drive down from Ariyalur quite a distance to come at the dead of night to Madras for the concert early morning. So naturally the accompanying artist demurred, but Subbulakshmi would take nothing of it. She sang in honor of the old couple and then came for the next day's duty of hers. She repeated the same in this very auditorium. In the year 1971, we had the Silver Jubilee of Chinmaya Mission, and they had a concert of Subbulakshmi to raise funds for Chinmaya Mission. This all was packed, 3,200 people occupying every seat, paying for the concert. As soon as Subbulakshmi started, power went off. Those were the days when we did not have backup generators to give induced power for her to continue. In the still darkness of this entire auditorium, a small lamp was lit near Subbulakshmi, and then she started singing. Whatever she sang would not have even reached the ears of Gurudev. Chimanaji Maharaj was sitting on the stage, leave alone the people in the first or even upwards. But that bhava, that bhakti, that emotion of this Mahavidushi could travel to the extreme end. For full 3.5 hours she sang, with everyone glued to their seat and no one moved out, even though they could not hear what Subbulakshmi did. And again when she was about to sing Mangalam, which is the conclusion of the concert, power came. And when power came, Subbulakshmi said, I'll sing for another 1 hour, again into dead of night, for honor of all these people who have come all the way to listen to me. The story that I will say will be very difficult to believe. Chimanaji Maharaj said, tomorrow morning everybody can come and collect 100% refund of the monies that they had paid for this concert, because full 3.5 hours they did not listen to anything, and at dead of night when half of them were feeling asleep, Subbulakshmi was singing. Take my word, not one person of the 3,200 came to collect the refund from the counter of this Sabha. That is the greatness of this Mahavidushi, and that love and affection that she has for her Rasikas, and all these youngsters will do well to draw that lesson from Subbulakshmi. It is given only to a chosen few to leave impressionable, indelible imprints on the verdant space of art and music, and Subbulakshmi did that with great aplomb and dignity. On the 11th of December 2004, the voice of the millennium stilled, melody baffled. The nation plunged into grief that Subbulakshmi, the human being, is no more. But soon people realized across the nation that the virasat, the inheritance that she had left behind, can never perish. And that is what they will carry of Subbulakshmi. She is alive through her bhajans and suprabhadams. She lives in the sanctum sanctorums of the temples of this blessed land above us. Ensconced as she were in the divine state, that state of divinity that she gave to all of us through her music. Subbulakshmi, the human, was far more greater than Subbulakshmi, the mythician. This year's Sangeetha Pracharya Award is being conferred on Dr. Saraswati Vidyardhi from Visakhapatnam. She has a rich, mellifluous voice, an extensive range, but much more than that, she is a musicologist of repute, of standing. Countless number of musicians of today have undergone their research studies under her. She is currently the chairperson of the Department of Arts in the Andhra University. She carries from today further blessings in her musical journey than what she said at the beginning of Nedunuri, that today she gets that of Subbulakshmi as well. We are beholden to Padma Vibhushan Dr. R. Chidambaram, former Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, the authority on crystals, the world's renowned authority on atomic energy, nuclear energy, and Padma Vibhushan Dr. Manmohan Sharma. The world of chemistry dances before him, a chemical technologist of international repute, who have come all the way today to be part of this evening's function. This evening, in addition to all other several things, is a confluence of science and spirituality, spirituality through music. Several scientists of the yore have also been good musicians. Dr. Raja Ramanna, who was the former defense minister of this country, atomic energy expert, was a great pianist. Radhakrishnan Nair, who until recently was the chairman of ISRO, is a beautiful Carnatic vocalist and a Kathakali dancer. Even the two Maha Vibhutis who are present here today are connoisseurs of Indian music. We are deeply beholden to them for their gracious presence this evening, and more importantly, to motivate all these young ones, inspired by their life, scientists of extraordinary achievements, not ordinary achievements. That's why the Government of India gave them the second highest civilian award, and I would suggest the Government of India to see that the highest award of the country can come to these two, who more than deserve the Bharat Ratna of their land. As I come to the end of my address this evening, long as it were, may the Jagannatha Kamakoti Kamakshi shed her grace on Dr. Saraswati Vidyardhi, on all these young musicians who are out into the world of music to make a name for themselves. May she enable them to realize the purposes of their lives and put them on the super way that will lead to a destination where the likes of Subbulakshmi had reached during their living times. May the good Lord in His abundant mercy shed His grace on us too, so that we can draw a leaf from the life of nobility of Subbulakshmi and make our life sublime. Thank you and God bless.